If you're a busy person, this video is for you if you are trying to build muscle. So I just want to share a story with you firstly. So when I was younger, I lived with my grandma, and my grandma used to be someone that was so caring. She loved me unconditionally, and I never used to live with her, so she came to visit us in London. And when she came to London, and she used to stay around, she used to spoil me. And as much as I love my grandma, she's passed away now, and may her soul rest in peace. She she treated me like a king, but this led to me being and living a comfortable life in which I started to gain a lot of weight. She would literally plate me with food, take my plate away, wash my plate, bring me hot chocolate, cookies. She just silver spooned me and like spoiled me, and I wasn't like used to this routine. Now obviously I was a kid, so obviously it was kind of expected for her to do these type of things, but this type of life was actually really bad for me because as a child and as a man or as a boy growing up to become a man, you want to be the type of person that eats the right foods and trains yourself to become disciplined, especially in your younger years, because this is what's going to define your adulthood. And obviously, I became fat. I was just some fat shit, some little scrawny little. The thing is, I wasn't even fat. I just had a big belly, like a chubby face, like that slim fat, like that chicken type of physique, where like my gut is all big and like I had like tits and I just looked like shit. And if you're obviously, I know you're the type of person that's like a really busy person because you're watching this video and you are trying to build muscle. But I just wanted to share this story with you because in your life you will experience times where there will be certain people that will be around, and or with your already busy life, these type of people will, not force you, but like they'll encourage you to just eat, and like don't worry, you just work or just play your game. Because I used to play like a lot of games, and I'd be like busy on my games, just like I used to play this game called like League of Legends, and or like RuneScape, and like I'd just be like playing, and like when I'm fighting, I just can't get up. Like I can't when I'm in a game of like League of Legends, I can't get up and like like whilst you're in a game, you can't leave the game, especially if it's like a ranked game. So I used to play these games and like endless hours just playing. And my grandma would just come in and like put food on my put food on my thing. I'd just be eating and playing, and then she'd come take my plate. And like if you're a busy person, it's so easy to succumb to this type of lifestyle where you live in comfort and you only eat foods that are like bad for you. I'm not saying that my grandma used to feed me like horrible food, but like sometimes it would just be like rice and maybe some like chicken. We have this type of stew. I'm from Sierra Leone where we eat these like we eat these like really oily foods with a lot of salt in them, and like there would be a lot of like beef and like these like fatty meats, which is good. Like I used to really like it's a traditional dish. I love it personally. But obviously these types of foods just make you lazy, and you just want to sit down after you finish eating. You just want to like chill, and you don't really want to go out there. And like obviously as a kid, I'm not expected to just go out there and like go gym, and I was just a kid. But what I'm trying to get at here is if you're a busy person and you live this type of lifestyle where you just finish work and you come home, you eat a big meal, and then you just start chilling, and maybe you play games or you go on social media or you're just scrolling on YouTube, like this comfortable life is actually going to destroy you, and it will actually make you weaker. It won't make you purposeful, and the people around you will see this, and you're probably already this type of person, because most people are like this, where they finish work, they're too tired, they tell themselves, and they tell themselves, oh, I just want to eat and fucking sleep. After I sleep, I'll just chill, like wake up and do the same thing again the next day. And this type of life, like I said, is pitiful because you live this type of cycle, and then you go work, you feel stressed out in the mornings because you had like a bad diet the day before, and you'll go work and just like on the weekends, you'll spend all your money on things that are like kind of just a waste, like a waste of time and a waste of money. You'll eat shit food during the week. You'll eat shit food whilst you're at work, and it just becomes a constant cycle where you're living in comfort and you're eating shit food. So just be very mindful as a busy person of the foods you're eating and the life you're living whilst being a busy person. So I just wanted to share that story with you. I definitely did, get fat, silver spooned, and it was quite sad. And you probably relate to this story. Maybe it wasn't your grandma, maybe it was your mom, maybe it was your, a family member, like an auntie that used to come over and she used to just like treat you with that love as a child should be treated. Obviously, as a child, it's okay. It's not like too bad to have this type of lifestyle, but it does like now. Obviously, as I got older, it kind of like made me struggle with my adulthood. So just be very mindful of the life you're living, especially if you're a child watching this and you play a lot of games and your mum gives you a lot, like she just comes in your room and just gives you food. Like you've got to kind of like tell her, mum, no, I need eggs in the morning. I need eggs. Like just give me eggs. Stop giving me cereal and like fucking stupid shit, sugary calories. And like you've got to kind of like create the structure for your life. Like playing games, I'm not gonna say it's like supremely bad as a child, but like if you're like getting older, maybe like 17, 18, 19, 20, you want to start eating the right foods because this will seep into your adulthood. So just to let you know that if you are busy, and I just wrote a few notes, so if I look down, I'm just reading the notes that I wrote. So, so you are busy, so what? You're still weak with food. So just keep in mind that just because you're a busy person, it doesn't really matter. Like at the end of the day, you still need to create this structure. Literally, just keep food that is healthy in your fridge and like meal prep over the weekends. And this way, it just kind of makes it easier for you to just go to that same thing. Try to eat the same things every single day: breakfast, eggs, etc. For your lunch, dinner. Try to just have meats, maybe some fats, healthy fats, and also some like healthy vegetables and like carbs. So it's pretty much just three things you need to stick to every single day. It's very simple. So you shouldn't necessarily like, when you just have too much variety. So like if I come to you right now and I give you like 100 different options of chocolates, you would be like, oh, which one do I go for? Should I go for the nutty one, the salted caramel one, the this one, the that one? As human beings, our psychology, it makes it like any company that makes like too many different types of flavors for like a certain chocolate, it's so difficult for us to pick which one, as opposed to, let's say, like, I don't know, like Snickers. They just literally have like chocolate with nuts, pause. They literally just have that, and it's so easy to just go for that one thing each time. It's the same way with your structured meals. Like if you just keep it consistent, it'll be so much easier. You don't lose brain points. You're not like, you can actually use your brain power to like, focus on a business after work, and it's just a lot easier on you. And it reduces the mental strain of, oh, I need to like I need to go buy a meal, and then like you don't even know, you're just looking at the menu and you don't know what to buy, or like you're trying to order food and you don't know what to order because there's so many different restaurants. Oh, I had KFC yesterday. Should I go McDonald's? Should I go, like, it's just bullshit. And then most likely these foods are just like I was like just put with rapeseed oil. I was in Lidl yesterday, just some like, if you're not from London, it's just a shop in London that they sell like cheap foods. And I go Lidl a lot. And I was actually there, and I was just looking at the back of ingredients and like scanning them as well on Yuka, an app that you can download on your phone, and it just shows you if like any of the products are harmful for you. And I was just scanning I was just looking at some products, the back of them, and like mostly like 60, 70, 80, probably like 70% of the foods that I scanned when I looked at the back, there was some form of sunflower oil, or like a rapeseed oil just written at the back. And then obviously like a whole heap of other things. And these are like things that you would think, oh yeah, this thing is healthy, like a fruit and nut mix. I literally looked at the back of a fruit and nut mix and rapeseed oil, sunflower oil. I looked at like I looked at like all the butters there and rapeseed oil, sunflower oil. And I just thought to myself, like, this is crazy. Like, these things are like meant to be good for us, and like butter is not meant to be bad for you. Butter is actually good for you, but most of the butters are like terrible. The only good one I saw was the one that it's like in a cube, and then they like wrap it in like I don't know, like tin, like I don't know what they wrap it in, like foil or something, and then they just have their label on it. My voice is finished right now. Sorry, guys, but what I'm trying to get at is like just be mindful of your health, because these food industries do not give a fuck about your health. And if you're just gonna sit here and like let them take control of your life, or let someone else like take control of your life, then you will live a miserable life. Like at the end of the day, like if you're this type of person, you've been raised in like public education where like you have to put your hand up to speak, and like you're kind of like controlled by your teachers. You need to be in a controlled setting, you need to sit down, you need to dress in a uniform. Like, look at me right now. I'm in a fucking vest. Like, I'm not conforming to society's norms. Like, one day you'll see me in like a fucking shirt. The next day I'm in a vest. Like, I'm just chilling. I'm just doing what I appreciate. And you guys probably appreciate me for being authentic. So I think this same aspect should apply to your diet, where you can be authentic, but also like don't follow the norms of what society wants you to like eat. Like they want you to eat all these rapeseed oils so you can become like, I don't know, estrogenic, and all these soys. Like all these things just contain things that are bad for your health. If you do your research on like rapeseed oil, it's like really bad for your health. And if you do your research on like soy for men, terrible, flax seeds, like all these things are just so like estrogenic, and they fuck up our hormones as men, and like they make us look like more feminine, and just it's just weird. Like if you go outside, like to your I don't know, a center where there's a lot of people, if you look at like most of the men outside, most of them just have, especially like working class men, most of these guys just have like a big gut, and like they have like a double chin, and you can see some of them have like spots on their face, and it's just like you can tell that this is because of a structured diet that they're eating that's like not good for them, when most men should look like muscly and like more well defined, structured bones and structured muscles, should I say. And this is not the way society is building men to be. So if you really want to like lock in and like actually change your life, then you definitely need to start changing your beliefs, and start like, you almost need to unwire yourself from society's norms, because if you don't do that, you will remain stuck and in a loop. And I'm definitely someone that has become a lot more self-aware just from like reading labels and just like identifying things, reading a lot of books about my health. And if you don't start doing this, it might become too late, and you'll become those type of people that are like, oh no, fuck that. Like, let me live my life. Let me enjoy my life. I only have one life. Like, yes, you only have one life. So fucking live a healthy life, and like have an optimal body. Like, no one looks in the mirror and they're fat and then they're smiling. Oh yeah, I look fucking good. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. I look good. Oh my God. Like, no, you don't fucking look good. You look fat. Like, be honest with yourself. Like, if you're fat right now, here's like a call to action. Start reading the back of labels and feel guilty when you see certain things. Like, if you can't fucking pronounce or like give me the definition of certain products at the back of what you eat, then don't fucking eat it. How about that? Like, if you look at the back of an ingredient, like for whatever you buy, and you can't like identify what this thing is, then just don't buy it. just don't fucking buy it. If it's like a preservative, mono this, poly that, like saturates, things that are preservatives and just so much bullshit that just stays in your body. Like I don't want to start talking about like microplastics in food. That's another like segment I'll get into, but definitely if like you're a busy person, don't just fucking conform to society. Like especially if you're trying to build muscle, especially you guys that are like trying to bulk and like you're busy people and you're trying to bulk at the same time and you're just fucking like chugging anything because you're trying to bulk or like eating anything. It's like your life will fucking like deteriorate. You will live like a sad life. And I'm not trying to like make you feel bad or anything. This is just the harsh truth of reality. Like if you don't start like waking up and realizing, like I'm not saying like, oh, every single meal you eat for the rest of your life will be healthy, but at least like follow the 80-20 rule or 70-30, where like at least majority of the foods you're eating, you know what you're eating. Like when you wake up in the morning, or like if I ask you yesterday, what did you have for breakfast? You should be able to just say like eggs, I put some salt, black pepper. For lunch, I had sweet potatoes or like like rice and peas. And I also had maybe some chicken. And you could tell me like each like herb and spice you put inside the chicken, and like you should be able to identify the things that you're putting into your temple, because your temple literally, like your body, the reason you can go to work every single day is because your body is there. Like you have a body and like a spirit, and if you keep filling your body with shit things, eventually you won't be able to go to work. You'll feel sick, or like obviously God forbid, like you'll be in hospital. Is that the type of life you want to live? Do you really want to be that type of person that like overworks themselves and eat shit food? You look like shit and now you're in a hospital, like being dabbed or doused with certain things that aren't actually good for you, or given prescriptions that like you have to take this prescription for the rest of your life now because you've been eating shit, or even worse, like you pass on a certain genetic thing that like high blood pressure and stuff like that, or like too much sugar intake, and now your kids are suffering because of this. I know so many people that have like all these weird things that like were passed on from generations, and it's just like if that family member before just made like ate the right things, this child wouldn't have this thing like anemic, like low iron. Like if that family member back in the day just fucking ate a lot of red meats and like leafy greens, which are actually high in iron, then probably this child wouldn't be anemic. And then another thing is like now this child is taking certain things that's like making it worse for this child. It's just like even this child could break that cycle if they just start eating the right things. But they've been trained and living a comfortable life. You know, life is so busy that they can't even read the back of label. Oh, it's too long to read the back. Like, who the fuck has time for that? You're literally telling yourself, who the fuck has time for health? Who the fuck has time for living a healthy life? 5, 10 years later, you're in hospital. Now you don't have time. You don't have time for anything. All you have to do is just wait patiently until you recover. And then if you go back to the same, and most likely these type of people go back to the same type of lifestyle because they've been away from it for so long that like when they come out, they're like, fuck, I haven't had a Mackey's in a long time. I literally fucking went McDonald's the other day. I was so ashamed of myself. I got a fucking Big Mac and like hot chocolate, and it was shit. It was fucking shit. I just wanted to remind myself of the junk. Like I didn't like get anything crazy, like no bacon or anything. Like I got a Big Mac and fucking hot chocolate and like an apple pie. But like it just reminded me how, and before that I didn't have like McDonald's for like months. So it was just more like a thing where I just wanted to remind myself of this shit. And it was shit. Like I prefer home food, home cooked foods. So Call to action right now, start reading the back of labels. I know I was just fucking on that topic for like 24 fucking hours. So, moving on to my first concept, my first core concept is that you want to follow 5 minute protein bombs. Now, I outlined it as this because I do truly believe that if you can just allocate a certain amount of time for your protein, and this can be like consecutively every single day, you can definitely like change your life in just a few steps every single day. And it doesn't need to take like long, like it doesn't need to be some long thing where like you're like like, oh my days, I've just spent the last 2 hours freaking trying to improve my protein intake. So just remember this, always remember this. Protein is your king, and there should never be like a time for excuses for it. So there's no time, no, like, don't ever think no time. You should never have an excuse for your protein intake, for food in general that's healthy. But there should never be a time where protein shouldn't be intaken, even if you're a busy person. So always remember, protein is your king. And the value I want to give you from this is that you should actually pre-cook 5 minute like protein bombs. So essentially, you're just making it easier for yourself. You're literally just making meals that are easy to cook. You should do this, for example, things like in the morning, hard boiled eggs, or canned tuna, or Greek yogurt. That's literally like, if you pair those three things together, that's already like 30 grams. And then just that's just a quick explosion of quick food. Like that's like boom, you've just literally had 30 grams of protein. Now obviously canned tuna has like it has mercury in it, and mercury is actually terrible for your health. It does a lot of things. I researched it recently. I still can't remember what it does, but like it has a lot of negative side effects. So I would kind of maybe avoid the canned tuna, but like you could just have some eggs in the morning, literally like what, 5 eggs. Don't listen to those people that say, oh, too many eggs are bad for you. Definitely if you have heart problems, then maybe avoid the yolk. But if you're someone that's fine and you don't have like heart issues, then definitely like eat more eggs. Like, I don't even think having 5 eggs is terribly bad for you, even if you do have these issues. But definitely just like eat most, like most people can eat at least 3-4 eggs a day. Most people can do that. That's like, if you just literally eat eggs in the morning with nothing else, you should be able to eat 3-4 eggs easily. I usually fry my eggs in olive oil, keep it on low heat so it's not like taking away all the nutrients. And this is almost compared to like boiled egg, but obviously boiled egg is a lot healthier and it actually maintains most of the nutrients of the egg. And another value is you could literally just put like literally just put like homemade food in your car, or like in your gym bag or your work bag, and you can still eat every 3 hours without fail. Now I know this tastes like this ain't gonna be easy, especially if like you're trying to build, but like at the end of the day, you're not succumbing to like society's norms where like you have to go eat bread and like sandwiches. But this is a quick, easy like tip and trick that you can do. You could just put it in your car, put it in your gym bag or your work bag, and as you're doing this, you go to work and you know you have food in your bag, and it's just literally primarily protein. So obviously I just mentioned a few things: Greek yogurt, canned tuna, and hard boiled egg. But you could also put chicken in your bag. You could put wings, you name it. Just as long as it's protein based, and that's it. Like literally, that's so easy. That's such a simple thing to do. You probably do this already, but you probably pack sandwiches and like bullshit. And if you probably don't pack like lunch for for work, or like let's just say for example you're the type of person where like at work you don't have enough time during your break to like go warm food, or you don't even have a microwave at work, or like it's like a bit hard to access, then just make something easier that's healthy, and then when you get home you just eat a lot more food. But definitely, if you're a busy person and you know you need to hit that protein intake so you can build muscle, then you've got to just make sacrifices at the end of the day. And the sacrifice is at work, you still need to eat those hard boiled eggs. You still need to take a like a packed lunch that has a lot of proteins in it. And maybe some like Greek yogurt, put it in like a cup, like one of them cups that you can seal, and then just put that in your bag. And then boom, that's like so many grams of protein. You could even pack like another container with like veggies in it. Or just have a container with, some like chicken and rice, or like some sweet potatoes and chicken, just chop them up so it all fits in, and add some broccoli in there and just eat that for lunch. Even if it's cold, like it's not gonna kill you if it's cold. Just might not be, might not be as tasty, but it still will count to your calorie count. So that's definitely something you can do. My core concept number two is definitely try to encourage yourself to have one pan power meals, where literally in one cooking session, or like in just one quick fry, you could just make something amazing with a lot of protein. So what I actually wrote is that you could literally just toss some chicken thighs, sweet potatoes, and broccoli, add some olive oil and salt for 20 minutes at like 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and boom, you've already got a meal right there. So it doesn't need to be difficult. All these things that I mentioned, chicken thighs, sweet potatoes, and broccoli, all these things can literally just be bought in bulk, so you can have like food for the whole week. Now, this is obviously a preference that I like. You can switch it up as you like. So obviously, instead of sweet potatoes, you could have rice. Instead of rice, you could have like, not necessarily pasta, but like maybe quinoa. So that's obviously the carbs. Instead of broccoli, you could have cauliflower, carrots. You can switch it up or even add more if you want. And instead of maybe like chicken thighs, you can have steak or beef or lamb, etc., etc. Maybe salmon. Maybe you prefer the tuna, so you can switch it up as according to your wishes. But just making these quick fries just makes it easier for you. You probably know this already. Like the information ain't hard to like you probably know the information. You just need a wake up call. You just need someone to like say you're fucking fat or you're fucking skinny, and like your brain is like fucking shit, and you just need to fix your brain and rewire this energy of like negativity that you keep like dooming on yourself. And you need to stop passing by those shops that keep tempting you, like Greg's, Subway, KFC, McDonald's. I'm not like trying to have a go at these companies, but like most of the food in these shops, and also the way they make these types of foods, are fucking shit. Let's just face reality. They're shit. They're shit. They taste nice, but they're shit. And they're not good for your health, and they're gonna stop you from building muscle. KFC, I shout out to you because you sell just like a lot of chicken, and like it's just mainly chicken. But obviously they're probably frying their food in like seed oils, and that just makes it worse. And then probably like, not even probably, definitely, like these types of companies like KFC, with these like oils, they're putting a lot of salt. They're like putting the chicken in like pastry, so it's just becoming more carby. They give you chips, and then they give you like ketchup and mayonnaise, so it just makes it unhealthy. Like you're barely getting any nutrients at the end of the day because it's just being fried in like seed oils. So just be mindful of what you're eating and what you're craving. I've probably made you crave so many things today, so I do apologize for adding to that. And finally, my last core concept is actually snack attacks that build. So this essentially just means that you need to firstly, well, before I get to that, you need to firstly get rid of the crisps, the sweets, the chocolates, stop having these as snacks and actually replace them with like beef jerky or nuts, like fruit and nuts. Like you could have some, you could go buy some walnuts or almonds, maybe add some raisins or pecans, and just like make like a quick bag. They literally sell like resealable bags, 20 for like what, £1, and then you just put like a few seeds in there, not seeds, a few nuts in there, pause, almonds, walnuts, any type of nut that's just healthy, usually the unsalted nuts. But I would highly recommend definitely like almonds, pecans, and walnuts. And you just put some in there and you just snack on those throughout the day. I'm not really a beef jerky type of person, but maybe you might like beef jerky. It could be other things as well, but I would highly recommend especially if you want to snack on things like nuts, fruits, like bananas, apples. You could even just have like a berry bowl where you just have like strawberry and other types of berries, and they're just fresh in your bag. You just keep it in your bag and you just snack on those throughout the day, especially if you want to eat. And that way you're actually you're like, you're eating healthy food, but also not like losing muscle or like deteriorating your health whilst you're like busy doing stuff during the day at work. So I also wanted to say that you could also have like a stash, like a desk drawer or like a glove box, or like anytime you get these hunger hits, you literally will win, because anytime you open these things, you see these nuts, you see these bananas, strawberries. You could just put one banana inside I don't know, if you're an office worker and you have like a desk, you just put these nuts there, and as you see it, in sight, in mind, out of sight, out of mind. So if you see it, you're gonna most likely be tempted to take it throughout the day. So just keep that in mind. Those are my three concepts. So obviously we have the 5 minute protein bombs, where essentially you're just like you're making like literally four things where you take them into your car. It's so easy to make, like hard boiled eggs, etc. And also you have, for my core concept number two, you have the one pan power meals, where essentially you're just like whipping up some quick meals that are so easy to make in like 20 minutes. And you could literally just take those to work and eat that at work. And for number three, you have the snack attacks that build. And this essentially just are like nuts and just things that are so easy to access, where like instead of going for those chocolates, those sweets that are like fucking you up, you could just snack on those things. If you're a kid, like you probably don't work, then you just have like snacks instead of eating the sweets and chocolate when you go outside to buy food, or like to buy those snacks maybe before school or after school, instead of like passing by your chicken shop or the convenience store to buy sweets. Just like go to Tesco and fucking buy like fruit and nuts, or like buy some like a fruit box. Like it's so easy to access the healthy things as well. It's just obviously it's sad to say, but there is still hope that they make it so difficult for you to access the healthy things because they're so expensive. And we understand that, like most likely like buying chicken and chips, or most of these like unhealthy things, they make it like a decent price for people. So it's like, oh, it's not that bad. It's like, oh, one meal of my day is just £4 for this box of chicken and chips, or like this burger, like a Big Mac is like what, £5. So it's like it's so easy to access. But then if you think about it, like if you just meal prep and bulk and just bulk buy, you will actually save a lot more money, because if you're good at maths and you do the calculations, these companies are actually ripping you off. So just keep that in mind as well. So if you ever tell yourself that you're too busy, you're too tired, I understand, and I've been there. And I used to work in like security, long hours, 10, 12-hour shifts, where I used to get those cravings. I used to go to those shops and buy these, like, I remember like I used to eat like fish and chips a lot, where it was like £10 for a meal. That was already like 1 hour. That was 1 hour of my day gone just to one quick meal that actually I was even more hungry after. And I definitely was a fat, soft kid. But now, obviously, like as you can see, I'm like more like steel. And you've got that in you too. So don't feel like you're some fucking like, yes, sometimes you can be a little shit, but don't like overwhelm yourself. There is still hope for you, and you just need to put in the actions. You need to have that belief. And here's your mission. Here's a quick action plan that I wrote for you guys. So in the morning, have some yogurt and nuts for lunch, a one pan chicken for snack, maybe a beef jerky or some like some fruit, and for dinner, some salmon or beef and rice, and just switch it up accordingly. For me personally, like literally my one go-to meal every single day, or what I could literally just live on every single day, eggs in the morning with some avocados and mushrooms. For lunch, literally just sweet potatoes, chicken, and broccoli and carrots. And then for dinner, like just some beef, uh, rice and peas, and the same thing, broccoli and carrots again. And then maybe I can just like in between, maybe my breakfast. For breakfast, I can just have like a smoothie on the side of it. The smoothie would contain bananas, strawberries, honey, water, and that's literally it. I just blend that up, add some Greek yogurt in there. Or for dinner, I could have like some kale, apple, mangoes, same thing again, Greek yogurt, honey, and water. And then that's it. Like you got like a phenomenal meal the whole day. And like you after eating like a meal like that in each section of the day, like you're not gonna be hungry. Let's face it, you're not gonna be hungry in between. After having like what, 6 eggs in the morning, some like a whole avocado. If you don't like avocado, I understand, but this is like my structured meal. Like after eating these things, you will be full until like the next meal, so there won't be like these cravings for anything else. Obviously, if you're going to work, you're not gonna have time to prepare your lunch, and you're like maybe you'll have time for dinner, but your lunch, like obviously occasionally you can eat relatively unhealthy. Maybe you go to Tesco and you buy a meal deal, but like your breakfast and dinner should be solid, so that throughout your lunch, maybe you just have something healthy. Like I said, the snack stuff, and it's just a lot easier for you to just maintain this muscle building diet whilst you're also busy. Now, it's never going to be easy, and especially in the beginning. And when you try to implement these things, just know that one, you might forget, and two, you'll start telling yourself, oh, there's no point. Like, oh, let me just go back. Let me just go McDonald's, man. Fuck this guy, bro. Who is this guy to me? Like, fucking, he doesn't even have my best intentions at heart. That's probably what you're going to tell yourself. Because I used to watch similar videos back in the day, and eventually I started realizing, yo, these YouTubers are like they're actually trying to help me. Why am I fucking being a retard and like convincing myself that they're like my enemies? Like they're literally telling me how I can improve my health. So don't be a little kid and like start like deep belittling yourself. Anyway, with no further ado, I'm out, guys.